If you don't do something the other man is not doing, then you're gonna get knocked off. Do it because you don't feel like doing it. Most people don't feel like waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And so you need to be the person that does it even if they don't feel it, but they do it because they're called to. Everybody wants to unleash greatness within them, and everybody wants to be their best self. And you're going to have to do stuff you don't feel like doing in order to get there. When you wake up early, it's just you. The world can wait, right? Emails can wait. Text messages can wait. The boardroom can wait. The playing field can wait. The court can wait. Everything can wait. And I can get dialed in with what I've been called to do. I can get dialed in with why I'm here. What is my purpose without any outside influences or stimuli? I don't need coffee right now. I don't need alcohol. I don't need an outside stimuli to get my day jump started. I just need to get up and get dialed in. We want to be successful, but we don't want to get dialed in on a morning routine. It's unbelievable to me how much we want success, but we don't want structure. Put away the devices, put away the distractions, put away the outside stimuli and the influences and all of the voices and get dialed in. If you're listening to me, let this be a moment of transformation and motivation, but let this moment not just move you, but change you to take action. Why am I here? What have I been placed on this earth to do? All of a sudden, when I wake up and the world is sleeping, I get a different perspective. I can get my agenda, my targets, and my aims crystallized in my head. And whatever becomes clear in my head, I can hold in my hand, period. All of us has this power within us, this force of nature that we have not tapped into. There's another level. Life is lived on levels, and these levels are unlocked by taking action. My question to you is, will you take action and do something out of your paradigm? If you're going to obliterate programs and patterns, then you've got to do something different. Shake it up. Wake up early, man. Get up. It's time for an identity shift. It's time for elevation in your relationships and in your health and in your mindset and in your approaches and in your strategies. It's time to get into this space of innovation. It's your time. It's your turn. The wait is over. Get up and give back to yourself. If you're listening to me, get up, get up, get up, get up. It's time to go. Most people don't feel like waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Do it because you don't feel like doing it. You need to be the person that does it even if they don't feel it, but they do it because they're called to. Everybody wants to unleash greatness within them, and everybody wants to be their best selves, but you're going to have to do stuff you don't feel like doing in order to get there. And so if we want to step into this transformative experience, then I need to have a competitive advantage over the competition. Well, you say, man, I'm in competition with nobody, just me. And I get that, and I've said that. But the truth of the matter is if you don't do something the other man is not doing, then you're going to get knocked off. If you want longevity, if you want sustainability, if you want to scale, if you want peak performance, if you're going to do something in your bloodline, if you're going to pass something down generationally, if you're going to be a light, if you're going to do something that's never been done, then sometimes you're going to have to get up when you don't feel like it. If we're going to unleash this untapped potential, then I have to do something that's going to break the current paradigms that I've been living under. I got to do something that's going to obliterate the status quo. What you're going to discover about waking up at a certain time, specifically at a time you don't feel like it, that after a while, you will love it. Once you get that itch, once you smell that potential, all of a sudden the world opens up to you. And 3 a.m., 4 a.m. is no longer a burden. It's just what you do. And you don't even need an alarm clock to go off because your passion awakens you. Your passion. You can go 3-4 hours of sleep and you're ready to go again because something inside of you is saying, I gotta achieve something. You got work to do. So make that decision that there's no turning back. And so we want to become unstoppable. When we want to be resilient, but we don't want to do what's impossible for most people. For most people, 3 a.m. is just like it's impossible in their mind. They don't even think about it. It's something they're just not going to do. They're going to get up at 7, 8, 9, 10. And so you've got to do what's impossible for most people in order to be that unstoppable force of nature. And I am an advocate for rest. Don't get me wrong. Like, we got to get rest. We need to sleep. I understand that, but there are seasons and timetables, and there are rooms I've got to walk into, and there are hands that I have to shake, and there are contracts that I have to sign, and there are deals that I have to close that are going to require me to lose sleep sometimes. And so if I believe in the power of the future, then I got to be willing to get up. Break through. Do something you've never done. Start your day at a time where it is a sacrifice until it becomes an obsession. I get up early when the competition is sleeping. I get a competitive advantage in the marketplace. I get peace and quiet and some solitude where I can focus on me. I can condition myself. I can prepare myself. I can accomplish more by getting up earlier. When people are sleeping and I am working, by the time they wake up, bam, I'm already done. I'm done. I'm in flow state. I can break out of the monotony. I can break out of the mundane. I can snap out of autopilot and step into that powerful driving force that is within me to help me unleash my untapped potential, period. Waking up early gets me in touch with myself. It gets me in tune, it gets me in motion, it gets me in flow, where I can perform my best. And I can get hyper-focused on what matters most, and I can eliminate distractions, and everything that was hindering me, all of a sudden, wham, I hit a state of elevation. Everything that was toxic, everything that was not for me, everything that was not life-giving, I can get very clear on the future. It is time for transformation. It is time to unlock resilience and ignite energy and vitality. It's going to increase productivity. It's going to shift your identity. And it's going to unlock the dimension of unstoppable momentum. If you want this, then try it for 1 week. Again. Type it in the chat. Again. If it's life-giving, if it's serving your purpose, if it's going to transform you into something you never thought you could be, then do it again. Do it again. Type it in the chat, drop it in the comments, man. Again. This thing served me. This thing helped me. It hurt, but it's helping me. And it's building a bridge to the future and the destiny that I've been called to fulfill. Period. Every time you go back, you're building muscle. You're building mentality. You're building endurance. You're establishing faith. It takes faith to get out of this, to crawl yourself out of a messy history and leave a legacy. It is the man that refuses to quit. It is the man that refuses to put down his gloves that separates winners from wannabes. It is diligence and dedication and determination that separates the all-time greats from the one-hit wonders. Do you want to do this thing one time? Or do you want to be notorious for winning over and over and over again? I just want to know, is anybody listening that wants to do it again? I don't want to win one time. I don't want to be noticed one time. I don't want to make history one time. I want to do it over and over and over again. Do it again, no matter how hard it was, no matter how much you cried and you sweat and you bled. Do it again. Again, 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 again. Your goals are posted on your wall. You commit privately and publicly to the call that's on your life. You think about it day and night. Whatever the goal is, it's time to shatter the ceiling above your head, to break records, to shatter the status quo, to punch through targets. It's your time. It's your turn. You've doubted yourself long enough. People have left you, overlooked you, undervalued you, underpaid you. It's your time to connect. It's your time to get paid. It's your time to sign the deal. It's your time. If you quit, go back, dust yourself off, and try one more time. Show me your habits, and I will show you your future. It is what we do habitually. It is what we do every single day that determines the measure of significance that we get to live this life. Everybody wants to drive something, live somewhere, be connected. There are protocols that must be in place. There are actions that must be taken. Not just thoughts that you must think, but words that you must speak and actions that must be taken, and coordinates to where it is that you are going. You are going somewhere. You're either going back or you're going forward. Everybody wants a comeback, but nobody wants a setback. You can't have a comeback without a setback. You are going to experience loss. You are going to have seasons in your life where you're not going to understand why and how you got where you are. Many of you have been the villain in your own story, and it's time to become the hero. The drama and the chaos, the narrative is about to change. The story is about to clear up. This is not a conversation about going back to everything that you left. There are some things, there are some people, there are some places that once we leave, we don't ever need to go back, because we were tormented and we were haunted and we were abused and we were talked about and we were overlooked and undervalued and underpaid. The reason why you didn't win is because you gave up too soon. You took the exit too quickly. You were on the freeway to freedom. You were en route. You were following the instructions. You were following the coaching. You were listening to the video. Somebody drop it in the comments. I'm listening, I'm listening, I'm listening. I'm staying the course. I'm focused, I'm dialed in. It's the man that stays on the freeway in the middle of a traffic jam and doesn't exit that reaches the point of destiny. Will you put in the work? Will you stay the course? Will you try it again? Are you willing to change perspective, to see this thing differently, to get to the place of optimal performance and significance and fulfillment, where every day you are looking for life, you have an expectation, you have a zeal, you're excited, you're ecstatic. You've got a bold anticipation for the future. With each day that is presented to you, you have an opportunity to change everything. Whatever it is, if it's life-giving, if it's going to impact someone else, if it's going to empower you to live a life of fulfillment and significance, then do it again. You may be in a courtroom, you may be in a cage, you may be on the basketball court, you may be on the football field, you may be down by 40 at halftime. It is the man that comes back round after round that may have taken a beating physically, but he is not broken mentally. That comes back round after round after round after round. And he goes back into the dark room and he puts the work and he comes back out into the light and he puts on a show. Put on a show. I'm talking to every builder, every athlete, every professional, every stay-at-home mom, every father that puts in the work day and night to provide for his family. I don't know what your dream is. I don't see your vision, but if you write it down and you put the work in and you beat on your craft and you give it everything you have and you give yourself to your work, at some point, everything's going to begin to shift and change because you refuse to quit. This isn't just a conversation about trying again. This is a conversation about winning again. When we try something again and again and again, eventually, when we set a target and we begin to run towards it, no matter how many times we are beaten out, eventually we run through the target. And so trying again becomes win again. And I just came to tell somebody today that's listening to me that eventually you're not going to be the man or the woman, the boy, the girl that tries again. Eventually, there is a warrior inside of you that will emerge. There is a person that refuses to lose, that will be birthed out of a setback. And you are no longer the person who is known for coming back from a loss, but you are known for the person that wins again and again and again. No matter how many times I've faced this giant, I am surrounded by walls 100 times taller than me. They gotta fall down because I have made winning a habit. Win again, punch through again. You gotta get out of this trying mentality. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna give it a try. I will break out of the I'm gonna try. I'll try to smile. I'll try to be happy. I'll try to make it a good day. I will smile. I will make it a good day. I will win again. I will bring my A game again. I will give it everything I have again. This mentality, this approach to living is what builds the bridges to the future. This is how we cement our legacy. He is a man, she is a woman that was born to shock the world. We all have a purpose, we all have a destiny. We all have rooms to walk into and tables to sit at and contracts to sign. We all have an assignment to advance the human race, to move a generation forward, to leave a legacy. One of the things I've discovered that people just really don't accept is the fact that at some point in your life, you are going to come to the edge of a thing. And when you get there, it's called the precipice. When you get there, you can either stand there and die, or you can take the leap of faith. You don't have the luxury of staying where you are. You've been here long enough. And the only way you're going to get out of this prison that you've made yourself is if you learn the art of self-discipline. You got two options in this life. You can do what is meaningful, something that is purposeful, what makes you come alive. Or you can sit back and be miserable and be afraid to take the leap of faith. You say, Marcus, I'm afraid to take the leap of faith. I'm afraid to take action. I'm afraid to move forward. You should be terrified to stay where you are. You gotta take action. You gotta take a leap of faith. Either you die where you are standing, or you make a decision to move forward. We live in a generation and in a society where there is a very poor moral compass. I've got a moral obligation to fulfill a destiny, to punch through targets, to execute the assignment, to manifest everything I believe I'm destined to have. I have a moral obligation. There are people who are attached to me. There is a price to pay when you say no to destiny. It's time to pursue what is meaningful. It is time to pursue what is purposeful. And it's going to require sacrifice. And it's going to hurt. but you'll be more miserable if you stay where you are and don't continue to move forward and don't advance and don't create and don't evolve. Now, a lot of people talk about discipline, but they don't hardly define it. It's a very simple definition. It simply means to train somebody to obey a set of rules. Training comes with rewards, but training also comes with the rod of correction. When I do well and I train hard, I win and I get a trophy, and that's great. But nothing compares to the process. Nothing compares to the practice, the training. That is where champions are made. It's in the dark hours. It's behind the scenes. It's when nobody's paying attention. It's when nobody believes. It's when everybody thinks you're not the one. There are generations of people trapped in the fetters of normalcy and mediocrity. And all of a sudden, every 100 years or so in a bloodline, if you will, the one shows up. If you believe you are the one that finally understands the weight of the future and the price required to fulfill that future. It's action protected. It's voice activated. There's some things you gotta say. There's some things you gotta do. There's some choices you have to make. There are some decisions that are sitting at your table. There are some parameters that you're gonna have to set up. There's some boundaries that must be established. There's some prices you gotta pay. There's some things and some people you gotta let go of. There's some places you can't go anymore. There's some sleepless nights you have to endure. There is some insomnia involved in greatness. You may not be able to eat for a few days. You may lose sleep. How you think is going to determine your vantage point. Many of you listening to me, even now, you're under this impression, this false narrative, this notion that discipline is a chore. No. Discipline is a privilege. It is a privilege. It is a privilege to train. It is a privilege to be taught. It is a privilege to be coached. It is a privilege to be programmed to win, to operate under a government of champions. It is a privilege. I need you to get it out of your mind that discipline and training is a chore. It is not a chore. It is the trait of a champion. If you are going to win, if you're going to accomplish it, I don't care what room you are called to, every arena that you step in, every field that you walk on, every court, every arena, every boardroom, every person, every place. Every stage of destiny requires another measure of discipline. I got places that I want to go right now. I got things that I've been called to do, people I know I got to meet. And this version of myself will not make it. I don't want to be a day late in realizing when I'm functioning in the outdated version of me. And this is when the frustration settles in and the anxiety and the trauma and the insomnia, when we are not willing to accept the fact that this version of ourselves is no longer good enough to accomplish the things that we've been called to do. I realize, I gotta come up. Change is not coming to me. Change is coming from me. I gotta become more disciplined. My communication has to change. My perspective has to shift. How in the world are you going to walk into these new opportunities, meet new people, make connections, change the world to some degree, starting in your family, in your city? You got to see stages everywhere, and every stage requires another measure of discipline. Discipline is realizing that I don't need a resource, that I don't need a handout. I need a new skill set. I need a new mindset. I don't want a handout. I don't need a favor. I don't need you to believe in me. I don't need you to see me. I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to understand me. I understand me. I like me. I love me. I'm working on me. I'm training myself. I'm conditioning myself. You can love me, hate me, like me, fear me. It doesn't matter. I will fulfill my destiny. Many of you are just flat out captives to your desires. Your subconscious mind is running the show. Your body tells you what to do, where to go, what to eat, who to hang with. You keep living life sensually and not intentionally. You are not present. You are not engaged. You are not connected. This is a call. This is an invitation into a paradigm shift. It's your time. It's your turn. Everything's about to change.